Welcome!
Our history.
Show.
Have you ever wondered what happened in our pre-colonial era? If you're curious, stay tuned because we'll meet 4 different experts who will answer all of our questions. So for now, our first interview only with historian Jel Besas.
Hello there, Rizal'S.
Hello, Jel Besas. How are you? Are you ready to respond to our questioning?
Yes, and I'm delighted to share what I have discovered with you.
What did the pre-colonial Philippines look like before Spain arrived and why?
What did the pre-colonial Philippines look like before Spain arrived? Well, the Philippines in pre-colonial era did have already their agriculture, weaponry, education, and writing. In their agriculture, pre-colonial Philippine societies relied more on steady agriculture than intensive permanent agriculture. For example, in pre-colonial Visayas, the staple crops such as rice, millets, bananas, and root crops were grown in Sweden. If you didn't know what is Sweden agriculture, it is such in bird agriculture. It's a farming method that involves the cutting and burning of plants in the forest or woodland to create a field called Sweden. The methods begin by cutting down the trees and woodland plants in the area. The down vegetation or slash is then left to dry, usually right before the rainiest part of the year. For education and writing, they have widespread literacy in the indigenous writing system, such as Baybayin writing system, by both men and women. If you didn't know what is Baybayin is a Philippine script. The script is belonging to the family of Brahmic script. It was widely used in Luzon and other parts of the Philippines prior to the during 16th and 17th century before being speculated by the Latin alphabet during the period of Spain colonization. Finally, they have the most intimate weapon wielded by pre-colonial habitats of the Philippines was the balarao, a dagger with a double-edged left-shaped, leaded, and cross-shaped hilt which is at times was used as a protection against riscats.
Oh, so that's what happened in our pre-colonial era. How fascinating! So thank you, historian Jel Besas, for giving us an idea of what happened in our pre-colonial era.
I am also delighted that you learned something from me.
So for now, our next topic, please welcome our second host, Shai Balagtas.
Hello there, I'm Rizal'S. What a fantastic idea we have learned from you, Ms. Jel Besas. But wait, there's another question for our expert guest to answer. So please welcome our second historian, Mr. Rizal'S.
Hello there, Shai. How are you?
I'm grateful because we will learn more about our history. So are you ready for the question?
Yes, I'm prepared.
So what was our pre-colonial country nation? What is your justification?
According to my readings, the Philippines have become a nation before the pre-colonial period. For clarification purposes, we had a government and an official, which was the Datu. Each barangay has its own Datu, whose purpose is to foster brotherhood in the event of barangay emergency. A barangay is a typical community in the archipelago. Second, we already have our own beliefs and religion, which is led by a pre-Islamic religious leader, and we believe in indigenous spiritual practices and worship the Anito and Diwata. In some regions, honor Bathala as the supreme god in Tagalog, La honor Aba in Visaya, and Kabunyan in Ilocano or Ifugao. In terms of literature, we already have Tula or Filipino poetry, Bugtong or riddles, and Salawikain, another type of poetry. And in the pre-colonial era, they were divided into 4 groups. The first are Datu, Lakan, or Gat, and their wives known as Dayang-Dayang. The second are the Maharlika or free people who are also known as the noble people. The third are the Timawa or ordinary people who are also known as the Masa, and the last are the Alipin who have the lowest status.
Thank you, Mr. Rizal'S, for attaining our curiosity, and I look forward for you to hear back from you again on our His Talker show. Let's take a look for our third host for our third segment. Good day, Miss Janina Francisco.
Good day, Riza Nanette. So, we've already learned 2 ideas from our previous historians. Are you still interested? Because we still need 2 more to satisfy your curiosity. Please join me in welcoming our third historian, Miss Sandy Borres.
Hello Hello everyone, and thank you for having us in this fantastic show.
We are more grateful to have you here today, Miss Boris. So let us move on to our third question. What was Jose Rizal's take on nationalism?
Well, I have several reasons. First, Dr. Jose Rizal himself was very much interested in the history of this part of the world. Second, this year 1961 has been proclaimed by the President of the Philippines the Rizal Centenary Year, for our hero was born in 1861. And lastly, if Rizal were alive today, he would have been happy to receive an invitation to attend a conference because our hero was the organizer of the International Association of Feminists Europe in 1889.
What a great idea from Miss Boris. Let us move on to our last host. Hello there, Miss Ayos.
Hello, Janina Francisco, and hello, everyone. Welcome to our final segment, and we hope that we have already satisfied your curiosity in this segment. So, without further ado, let us welcome Jubilin Abilong.
What a wonderful energy you have, Christine Ayos, and thank you for having me here.
We're also grateful for your presence today. So, here's our final questions. What did Jose Rizal hope to achieve after learning about our pre-colonial history?
He started to write his novels, The No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo. The Philippines' national hero, the writer Jose Rizal, was the first intellectual in Southeast Asia to think systematically about social and political issues. In fact, it could be said that Rizal thought about the nature of Filipino colonial society, laid the foundation for an original Southeast Asia sociology of colonial society. Rizal's second novel, El Filibusterismo, The Revolution, was published in 1891. The feeling speculate on the likelihood and outcomes of revolution against the Spaniards. Rizal's view enraged the Spanish friars and colonial authorities. His parents' property was confiscated and male members of the family were deported to the islands of Mindoro, and Rizal himself was exiled to the Pitang Mindanao from 1892 to 1896, accused of inciting Filipinos to revolt in 1996. Rizal was found guilty of seditions and executed by firing squad on December 30, 1996. He was just 35. Although he lived a tragically short life, he was an original thinker and prolific writer, unrivaled by anyone of his generation in the region. Among his work are several poems and essays, 3 novels, study on Philippine history, and the Tagalog grammar. His impact extended far beyond the Philippines, where he remains a potent figure to this day, influencing intellectuals throughout Southeast Asia.
So, thank you, Jubilin Abilong, for the knowledge, and thank you for all our historians guests, Sandy Bores, Geraldine Besas, and Charles Aceveros. So, that's for today's show.
I'm your host, Rizal'S Astudillo.
I'm Rizal'S Balagtas.